Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data, and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have a dear friend of mine, but you know him. He has not been on the show yet because I was hoping that he'd come to my house and cook for me first, but I finally decided he's just funny enough to just be himself on my show. It is Chef Stu, Stuart O'Keefe. You said the Irish way of pronouncing it.
So I was like, look, she was trying to figure out like what you wanted to call me. I was like, just call me by my like Irish translation of it. So Stuart O'Keefe.
O'Keefe.
So disgusting.
Yes, that cute Irish accent is not fake. You are not pulling a Hilaria. You are actually from Ireland.
From Ireland.
I am 98% Irish, but I am not from Ireland.
Yeah.
So, but
born and raised.
Born and raised, came out here. I love your Irish accent. I love that we have the Irishness about us. And you know what's really funny is someone like pulled up some bio of me and they're like, I didn't realize that Heather had Canadian roots. And it's because, well, this is the thing. This is the juicy story. So my dad was 100% Irish. His dad was 100% Irish and lived here. The mom came over when she was 29 off the boat, changed her age to 19, met my dad's dad, who was a 19-year-old firefighter. It's like the original Cougar story.
Wait there. She changed her age.
Yeah, when she got off in Ellis Island, they were just like, how old are you? And she just wrote she was like, fuck, I'm not saying I'm 29.
So then she's like denaturalized in like
she just
America
said
with her new age.
Yeah, she just said 19.
I mean,
29 to not be married in like 1920 whatever is really old, okay? So then she met him. They lived their life. He's the fire chief in Long Beach, Long Island, New York. She has 2 kids and then a huge break and has my dad and his sister, which we realized not until after she died that she was 10 years older. Nobody knew. They were like, yeah, she died at 88. And they're like, no, she was actually 98. It also meant she had some really old ass Irish eggs that still worked. So she basically gave birth like in her mid 40s to my dad and his sister because they were like a second chunk of kids, but from the same dad. And so anyway, my mom then met my dad, and her mom and everybody, their name was Lassard or something. And she said, my mom was French Canadian. So she's like, I'm half Irish and I'm half French Canadian. The French came over and like lived in Canada and whatever, and then came to America. And so my whole life, I'm like, oh, I'm 1/4 French Canadian. My mom made us take French, and she was like a real snot about it, whatever. Yeah. So then I go do some YouTube thing with Ross Matthews, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, to do the DNA thing.
The DNA thing, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm 75% Irish, 1/4 French Canadian, okay? And they're like, no, you're 98% Irish.
It's amazing.
And then I was like, wait, hold on. First of all, no one fucked anyone else interesting along the way.
Yeah.
That's shocking, okay? Secondly, I'm like, wait, did someone like cheat on my mom's side, whatever? And then when I talked about it, somebody wrote or told me, they go, you know, a lot of Irish settled in Canada.
Yes.
And I guess they were sort of looked down upon. So some of them just said they were French instead, I guess.
That makes sense, because it was the same. I heard it was the same in America as well, where a lot of like Irish, like they weren't wanted when we came over. It was like Irish need not apply to these jobs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of the Irish people lost the O in their names. So like O'Keefe, so it would just be Stuart O'Keefe.
No, and then it's crazy. This friend of mine in college, I forgot her last name, but it was something. And I go, oh, are you Irish? She said, no, because when her Italian relatives came over, the Italians were looked as like, ugh. Yeah. So they would add an O to their name because it was better to be Irish
than Italian.
Yes. Welcome to the International Podcast. Okay, first we got to talk about the hot topic, which is the divorce of Denise Richards to her husband, Aaron, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They have their own e-show. It broke just 2 days ago. And he filed on Monday.
Okay.
Filed on Monday, said the date of separation was July 4th.
What happened?
So I didn't watch that much of the E! Show.
I didn't.
But apparently they were, the house that we saw them living in before on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
His family lives there. She and he got like 3 condos that they're renting. They live in one, they work in one, and have some dogs living in one. And then like one of the daughters lives in the other. It's so weird. And yeah, she has all these dogs and everything. And he filed for divorce. It's been 6 years. He never did adopt her child. So she has 2 daughters with Charlie Sheen and adopted this child at birth. Eloise, I think is her name. And the Eloise, she realized when the child grew up that she had some challenges. He's been very lovely to her, to the daughters, but I don't think he ever officially adopted her. So I believe she has that child as a single woman. He then, in the thing, is asking for spousal support. He says, I have no income. Remember, he had that weird,
fit medical thing, like all these machines
energy,
and stuff.
Healing.
Yeah.
And she went to go see him, and she always talks about how she's like, and then I saw his penis. And I fell in love with his penis, and they had sex the first day at an appointment. What people don't know is I think there might have been a slight overlap. He was married to Nicolette Sheridan.
I didn't know that.
From Desperate Housewives.
Really?
And then started dating Denise. But I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying there might have been an overlap or an appointment or something.
Sure.
He gets divorced from Nicolette Sheridan.
Okay.
Gets with Denise. They get married on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. There were some moments on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where he would refer to things, people are following us and we know about frequency or something. It seemed strange. And he had the place was on PCH, so I'm assuming very expensive rent. He doesn't have that business anymore. He is saying he has no income. And so he's asking for quite a bit of spousal support because he says she makes $250,000 a month between OnlyFans, I guess being on her E! Show, and
other stuff, whatever.
Sponsorships. Now we had heard when she was making $2 million a month on OnlyFans. I believe it's more like $250,000. I believe that maybe the first month you do, and then
everybody signed up.
Once every guy has seen you, they go to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like you're not married to your OnlyFans person. You're not like, I can only subscribe to Denise Richards for the next 30 years. Like that's the problem with OnlyFans. You gotta
unless you're obsessed with her, you gotta
make it. You gotta save your money and move along. So he says of that, like they spent $20,000 on clothing, $15,000 on going out, all these expenses per month that he needs to live accustomed to his life. So some people were shocked. I was not that shocked.
But you think it was like a Dirty John type thing with him?
I mean, I just think marriage is hard and 6 years is 6 years. And I think it was probably like mostly sexual attraction and all that.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to handle and whatever. I mean, he was married before. She was married before. I don't think.
It's interesting he did it.
It is interesting. Now, there are some thoughts where people are thinking, that there was rumors or something that he had some issues, something with that business, that by divorcing her, maybe that'll separate the assets and and whoever's coming after his business then can't come after her. So maybe this isn't a real divorce. I never really believe that that's the case. I've never known of a case that's actually, people thought that with Tom and Erica and all that. That's never, oh, by the way, Erica Girardi has a new boyfriend. He's like a former, he's like special ops guy.
Like a Shrek something.
And he goes by Shrek, but he doesn't look like Shrek, thank God. And good for her.
Yeah.
Like she's going back to her roots. Her first husband was a cop. I think she just likes like a normal guy. He's her age.
Yeah.
They look like casual and cute together. Good for her. Anyway, getting back to this. So, I don't believe that anyone really does that and makes a big, I don't think if it was a fake divorce, you wouldn't make yourself look like a dick. If you were doing a fake divorce to save your wife's assets, you wouldn't spell out how much money everyone's making and how much you want.
Here's the thing, but maybe that makes it more real.
I don't think it's fake.
But they just shot the show. Was he a total dick on the show, or were they fighting all the time on the show? I don't even know.
I don't think he probably loved being on the show. It was work. Probably doesn't want to work. He probably just wants to collect $100,000 a month for the next 3 years. Because if you're married for 6 years in California, you get half.
It's 6 years the number.
6 year. No,
Thought it was 10.
No, you would get half, meaning 3 years
Yeah.
of support. So he's
okay.
entitled to 3 years of support. Now she could quit OnlyFans, and it could go down to $20,000 a month.
She's not going to quit that.
But same thing happened when she divorced Charlie Sheen. She was getting like $50,000 a month, and
That's
I remember
all she got?
$55,000 a month. I remember she got, and I remember thinking, and that was when he was at the height of 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
But then he got all crazy with the Tiger Blood and lost that show and whatever. And then so she wasn't getting that money anymore. She doesn't get any money from him. Obviously, the kids are grown. But so then she now is doing these OnlyFans things, finally making money. And now she's going to have to give him millions because they were together for 3 years.
That just sucks.
It really does.
It does. It's like, but
Hopefully
I like
some Casamigos Reposado around the corner for her.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, the good news.
What does she do? Do you just really kind of off topic,
Yeah.
but I never actually, what does she do in that? Like, does she touch herself and stuff?
I think
show her tits?
people get people to write back to everybody for you. You don't do that yourself.
Okay.
And these dumb guys
So it's
believe it.
chats
They don't
and stuff.
care.
Yeah.
So in doing that, that's how you make the real money, getting tips, getting them to talk to you more.
Got it, okay.
Show me a photo of your feet, whatever. And then I think they have a day or two of content where they do funny video, not funny. They do sexy videos, lingerie, different outfits, this and that. But I did hear she does nudity. Like you can see her in the shower, like showering.
Yeah.
She's very pretty and sexy, and so I just think, my God, you have to go do OnlyFans, and now you have to give it to your second husband, who is an energy healer who nobody wants healing from. It's just such a fucking bummer. All right. Well, I love you. You're so funny. You are an incredible chef. I love watching your videos. And here's a gorgeous photo of you being a sexy chef.
LA Magazine. It was great.
Magazine.
It was super
Look
fun.
at you. We had fun. We went to that LA Magazine party together with Paris Hilton. And so very fun. I love that you are a chef. I love watching cooking videos. I love watching yours. But the thing is that it's I always want to do it, but then I never. When I'm at the grocery store, I'm just
we have to do the whole thing.
Yeah, I need to have all the ingredients. I'm always impressed how you chop. And then I've never made a dip or a soup or anything in a Cuisinart or whatever. I've never done that. There's so many things I want to do. So you're gonna.
Well, I promise you, I'll come over to the house. Yeah, we'll do it in Palm Springs, or we'll do it here or wherever.
The summer dips and that it is protein, and so they're really so make sure you follow him. And you're also a private chef.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, because sometimes I watch these videos of hi, follow me being a private chef in the Hamptons.
People ask me that all the time. They're why don't you do these videos? I'm I'd rather slip my wrist.
First of all, how do they have time? And if I was paying you, I'd be a little annoyed because I'd be
That's the thing.
wait a minute, you're propping it and doing this and that. Already your day must be quite busy.
Yeah, it is, but it is. I'm good at it now, so it's I can knock it out quick.
You
and
can
stuff.
do the videos for yourself. Yeah,
it's basically 3 o'clock to 7:30. It's kind of Monday to Thursday.
When
this particular client is that I
when
work
you
for
make
now.
their thing, and so. Do you go over the menu every week?
They're just these people are cool that I work
they're
for.
we know what we like, and you just kind of mix it up so it's not
healthy,
too
protein, vegetables. Now I've had other clients in the past where it's give us the menu per week. I had one in Beverly Hills, a temporary one for 2 or 3 months. She wanted the menu at the beginning of the week, which actually made it easier for me.
Yeah, because it forced you to be
Well, it's just I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm it's planned out and so forth. But these people I work for now, they're just cool. They like different stuff. They don't mind me trying out things, and that's the kind of the ultimate goal, to get a client like that.
Okay, I have a question, a weird question, and maybe you can't answer because I'm putting you on the spot. But for someone who's not going to get a private chef, but they watch all these housewife shows and they kind of want to have that dinner party, multiple course experience. Sure. What would you tell someone never to do, and what could they do and pull it off? What is a huge mistake where someone you can't manage it all if you're
okay. So if you want a dinner party, we'll say for 12 people at your house, right?
Yes.
So we'll say you'll do the decor for the table and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So now you're okay, food.
That's done. Okay, yeah.
That's done. So you saying to go about hiring somebody, or are you doing it yourself?
Let's say you're going to try to do it yourself, and you're a decent cook, but like you want it to come out at the right time and not one thing complement another. What's like a simple menu that someone could maybe pull off?
Okay, what I would do is like family style. So big platters down in the middle of the table all the way through, right?
Okay.
Like do a ton of salads.
All right.
Like just do like cold food salads, lots of stuff. Just go find recipes that you can pretty much prep the day before.
Okay.
So it can be sitting in your fridge, it's ready to go, and then you're just assembling at the very end. Find other recipes that you can just assemble that they don't need any cooking. There's lots of those out there. Then you're just kind of focused on, well, say the protein.
Yeah.
So just say, you have the husband, okay, you're going to be fucking cooking that steak on the grill.
Yeah.
I have the salmon. We'll get like 2 or 3 sides of salmon, which is like, the whole salmon basically. Make like a pesto butter or something like that, a pistachio butter.
To kind of fancy it up.
Yeah, just like drizzle or like just spread it all on top. That can go in the fridge the night before. Take it out about 20 minutes before you want to put it in the oven. That just goes into the oven for about 20 minutes.
Right.
It's done. Transfer it to a white platter, basil leaves, whatever. That's it. It's easy.
Okay.
Just keep it like cold stuff, especially in summertime.
Yes.
You can do the cold stuff. Like wintertime, you just do like, you could do short ribs. Like you could do those the day before and you can reheat them the next day. You make mashed potatoes, you do glazed carrots. Like there's ways, like, you do a soup as a starter. So you make that the day before, you just heat that up. So just be smart about it and just think as much as you can do before. Desserts, that's easy. You can just go buy a cake. You can.
What about caterers that go to Costco and then like jazz up the chocolate bundt cake with a few raspberries? I mean, they're out there. They're out there and they can get away with it.
Yeah. If you're creative with stuff like that, no, I've never done it. Like, I used to cater so much, like I've been doing it like 19, 20 years now. And I mean, I've catered like parties on Beverly Hills on Rodeo out of my little apartment.
Yeah.
Like for 200 people. And it's just prepping everything in containers. I'm borrowing my friend's fridge. Like, I need to put shit in your thing. And then we come grab it in my like Volkswagen Jetta and we go over there and they're like, oh, you're this big catering company. I'm like, yeah, like, and you work it out.
Yeah.
And so many people do that across LA. I do catering and stuff like that, but I like more the dinner parties now. The 10, 20 person dinner party.
Well, I love it. Maybe you're a hot sleeper. Maybe your partner's a hot sleeper. Maybe you're both hot, but you'd like to be cooler when it's time to go to sleep. That's why I like Boll and Branch Percale sheets. They are 100% made from organic cotton. They are ethically crafted by expert artisans that earn a fair wage. They come with a 30-night worry-free guarantee. They are made ultra crisp with a special cooling weave, so you will never sleep hot again. They have made a huge difference for myself. I am sleeping better than ever. Summer nights are feeling like cool winter, spring nights. I mean, they are the best. I love feeling them on my skin, and it's just so refreshing and lovely to sleep in their sheets. Get the best savings of the season during Boll and Branch's annual summer event. Get 20% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/juicyscoop. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLANDBRANCH.com/juicyscoop to save 20% and unlock free shipping. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. Summer is so fun. You've got weddings, you've got vacations, you're going in and out of the pool, the sun is getting on your hair. And guess what? That can add to the shedding and your hair not being as lush and beautiful as it should be. And that is where Nutrafol comes in, because Nutrafol's whole body approach and clinically tested formulas support your hair from within, so you can focus on living your best life all summer long. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. Anything truly worthwhile takes time and effort. And with Nutrafol, see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair and less shedding in just 3 to 6 months. While many supplements rely solely on ingredient studies, Nutrafol clinically tests final formulations to ensure their efficiency. In a clinical study, 90% of women saw overall improvement in their hair after taking Nutrafol Women Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months. This summer, stop worrying about your hair and start making memories. For a limited time only, Nutrafol is offering our Juicy Scoopers $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code JuicyScoop. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code JuicyScoop. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code JuicyScoop. Wait, let's get into some juice. So you had a fun weekend in P-Town.
Jesus Christ, have fun.
Which is a very conservative, heterosexual town in the summer. No, just kidding. It's very gay and it's very fun. It's a utopia for gay men.
Yeah, that's what Jason, my friend Jason, always says.
And Sonja.
And Sonja.
And Sonja was there. Tell me about your time with Sonja. She is a good freaking time.
I'm hanging out with Derek, your friend, right?
Yes.
And it's last minute. We're at your Juicy Scoop 10-year anniversary party. He's like, hey, we're going to Provincetown next year. We have a place. You want to come? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, after work and stuff. And then, my boss is out of town. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just go. So I go. Derek knows Sonja. She's texting.
Sonja Rita? Sonja or Sonja?
Sonja Rita? Sonja Rita, Sonja. And so she's calling him like, I need makeup, I need hair and stuff like that, whatever. And so, when you get in tomorrow, then she calls him. And then Derek's like, she's at the bar, we're going over. I'm like, okay. So we go over. I'd never met her. I've met like a ton of the Housewives because I wrote that cookbook, the Housewives cookbook.
Oh, yeah.
And so, she has 2 recipes in that cookbook, so I wanted to tell her about them. Then we started chatting. She's really nice.
She's so nice.
She is nice, and she's a good time. She's having fun. She's just sitting at the bar waiting for us. And then there's some woman singing. Yeah. And then she gets up. The woman comes over to her, like, can you sing this song with me? And she's like, yeah, like whatever. So then she gets up. She's singing. Like, Derek's friend Alex is there. He starts slow dancing with her. It's insane. And it's just a barrel laugh. Then she's like, let's get a photo. And I'm like, okay. And Derek grabs the camera and she's like, let's go by the stairs and like you're taking me up. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of fucking weird. But I'm like, no, that's how it happened. I'm like, I was like, oh, and then Derek did the whole thing in the collab and posted it. And I was like, well, I said, I think it'd be more fun if I'm just lifting you up, or you know what I mean?
It was so funny because a week ago, in my stories, I'm tagged. When you see your tag, and you can post too. And it's Sonja, my friend Jorge Perez,
yes.
who you know.
Yeah.
And her. And we're at Josh Flagg's summer party when he was married to Bobby.
10 years ago.
And they were having all these parties during COVID that I was so excited to do anything. And they'd be these lovely parties outside. Yeah. They would have the testing, whatever. And there were several of them. And so we took one and she's like, hot summer nights at Joshy's house. And I'm like, what? And so I just reposted it and people are like, wait, when was this? I'm like, 4 years ago. I'm like, I don't know why she's doing it. But
she posted one with Luann the other day as well.
Post me with your 1 million followers. And she is really so silly and nice. And, if you're someone that watched the show for years, she's one of the few housewives, if you look at the history of her, she was sloppy and fun and she liked to drink and she was like this and wanting these guys, but she never plotted any mean shit.
No, that's the thing.
And that is pretty rare to find a housewife that did 6 or 7 seasons and didn't hire a private investigator.
Yeah.
Bring out your tax returns at a lunch.
Yeah. She never was she was always light and airy but a bit crazy, you know?
And even when Dorinda was like, you're the hostess with the mostest, she was like, what's going on?
And
she was confused.
You're the Holland Tunnel. It's just mean. It's just what the fuck during that?
It was just, she was just kind of oh,
Yeah.
And
but I will say, just sitting down with her, she was just talking and she's like, I support this and stuff like that. She'll kind of give you a compliment with an insult. And you're like, wait, and you're kind of oh, thanks. And you're kind of what? What was that? She doesn't mean it, she doesn't even know what she's saying.
Well, when I had her on, she was like, yeah, you do comedy too. You should open for me. And I'm like, maybe I will, Sonja. And then people were like, how are you not insulted? I'm like, I'm not.
Exactly.
Why should she do any research on me? Who's interviewing her?
Sure.
I would expect nothing more. So I don't care.
And that's the beauty
I
of
have
her.
no ego about it.
Yeah.
Make your money, honey.
Yeah.
You brought it so much enjoyment for so long.
Yeah.
I watch these people that are there's nothing I would want more than to erase the memory of Real Housewives of New York and be watching it with fresh eyes, like an infant,
Yeah.
Like when you like see like some 17-year-old, like people are like, oh my God, my daughter's home from college and found, the original episodes, and it's like she and her friends are obsessed, like the way they watched Friends 3 years ago. And I'm like, it's so great. Like it's so great. And so speaking of which, Ramona had like a real fun thing happen to her. So
what happened?
Apparently, the story is that Ramona is 68. I could not believe this. I also couldn't believe that Emma Roberts, the actress, is 34. Doesn't that seem crazy that she's that old? Anyway, they both look great. Young. They're both fabulous. And apparently, they were at an event, and Emma Roberts is a big fan and saw Ramona and went to approach her. God. Ramona has been very clear to me herself, because I had like a 3-hour lunch with her. She does not like when she's at something for fans to come up and interrupt her conversations and take photos of her and stuff like that. She just doesn't like it. And if she was sitting right here, she'd be like, you know what, Heather, you know what? If I'm having like a really nice dinner and I'm talking to like a gentleman who's taking me out, I'm not in a cheap date, so we planned it. We had a beautiful, lovely dinner. And now, I appreciate the fans, but, they're just interrupting me and they're like, can I have a picture? And I'm like, you know what? I can't, okay? I'm having a lovely dinner with this gentleman who's hard of hearing. So if I try to talk to you, he's going to miss the conversation. And you know what? I would like a gentleman caller, okay? I'd like a friend. And I don't really want him to know that I'm like this big star that gets interrupted all the time. Okay, so she even said that. She said when she would like, with her boyfriend, I don't know if they're still together, but with whatever the last one was, he mentioned the place like the Regency or something. Yeah. Please don't tell me about Tom. And she picked some small place, hoping that the fans wouldn't approach her, because she doesn't want to turn off a guy. Because it really, a lot of straight men do not, there's a rare breed. There's a Slade here or there, but most men don't want to be on a show.
Of course,
that's like 65. Yeah. And has millions of dollars. They're not like, what I'd love to do is have every Midwest housewife analyze my jawline and my pocketbook. Like, they don't want it, okay?
My past life, my taxes, the whole thing. Could you imagine? Yeah.
So anyway, apparently this happened that night, and Avery was there and was like, Mom, this isn't some fan. This is, Emma Roberts, and went up to Emma Roberts and made good. And so there's that story floating around. Well, then recently, I guess they were maybe at this event called the Fountain of Youth, which is amazing that they invited Ramona, because she's always like, you know what, Bethenny, you didn't go to my anti-aging line. That's what she said, anti-aging. Yes. She forgot. No, she said she said aging pro. I don't know what she said. She said it, my anti-aging skincare line or something like that. She goes, you didn't go to it. You didn't, you don't support women. And
on the side of the street.
Yeah, she's always like, I have such a youthful glow. A lot of people think that Avery's my sister, And so they invited the Fountain of Youth, and she sees her, and they do like a fun story together. Yeah. And she's like, I did not know that you're a big actress. Which no one's catching in the comments. Like, that's actually really shitty. That if a big actress of some importance, and of some fame, that you'll stop your dinner and take a photo. But if it's some woman who has bought your book, bought your Pinot Grigio, watched every episode, has a fan account about you, that person, you know what? I really appreciate that. It brought you some joy, but do not bring me joy right now at my table. So I kind of was like, no, it should have been. So what that Emma Robertson's a big fan?
But she knew it was Emma Roberts, so then it was explained to her. So
let's
do a
after
story.
She sees her, she's like, oh my God, sorry, I was so rude to you.
So then she should be nice on the story.
She's like, can you believe I didn't want to talk to her? Yeah. Look how great she is. She's a big actress. You know who her aunt is? It's Julia Roberts. You know what? I love Pretty Woman. A lot of people were like, you're just like Pretty Woman. And I'm like, oh, please, I'm not a hooker. No, I don't know what she said, but I'm just imagining what it is.
That's probably. I bet you Pretty Woman came up.
Of course
it did.
Which is what I'm sure whatever Emma Roberts wants to talk about. But fine. She's a fan. I love it. I love Ramona. Since we're just on Little Housewives, we're going to get into other stuff. I came across a bunch of clips of NeNe and Bethenny. I don't know whose show they were on, because it says it's NeNe's, but I think it might have been Bethenny's recently. Or maybe this is old. I don't know. But it was really interesting. I find Bethenny very fun and entertaining. Mm-hmm. And of course, I'd love to see her back on the show being with these girls. But, she has such a hard on for like Andy and like, getting Andy and whatever.
Yeah.
So her whole thing in talking about it was kind of funny, is how she was like, Bethenny was like, I did all this stuff for them. I was like, oh, I'll get the girls. Oh, I'll go to this restaurant. Oh, I'll do this. And then NeNe's like, yeah, I was always like, oh, sure, I'll bring these girls on the show. Oh, let me tell you who could be cast. And she's like, and then these girls weren't my friends. So then when they started to ask me, I was like, do your own casting. And then Bethenny's like, yeah, why am I doing these people's job? And I'm like, you did the job because you were fresh and new to it.
Yeah.
And the new people will do the job too. Because you're if you're new to a job, you're going to try to impress your boss. Of course, once you're making, $1 million a year and you've been on 5 other TV shows, yeah, they better like pay you and kiss your ass, and you're not going to stay an hour longer than you need to. You're not going to stay 5 minutes longer than you need to. Yeah.
But like to that point as well, it's like, we need casting and stuff. Don't you want your friends on so you can vibe with them, so you can have a good time instead of these strangers, and then you have to force yourself to kind of like them? So it's like,
I'll tell you why. Okay, because you're a guy.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated about how men and women are so different, and in raising my sons, it's made me understand men so much more. Women are kind of fucking awful, and I'm just gonna say it. Like men. Like I saw a clip of like a bunch of guys like with their friends, and they're busting each other's balls and da-da-da. And then the guy leaves, and then they're all like, he's the fucking greatest. He's the fucking greatest.
True.
Women are the opposite. They're nice to your face, and then the girl leaves, and they're like, can I be mean for a minute? Everyone's like,
right.
yes, you can. Yeah. What was with that? It's just a different dynamic.
Yeah.
We can still be really lovely friends to each other for a lifetime, but there's something about that's what's different, is that guys will be so mean to each other's faces, mean on the golf course, mean on tennis, whatever, like be like, oh geez. And then, but
it's like 10 minutes later it's forgotten about.
Yeah, and it almost means that they like you. Like their guard is down, versus like we watch these shows, and if a woman was like, oh, yeah, as if that's a real Chanel, okay, and a guy, if the roles are reversed, the guys would like laugh about that they got a fake Chanel thing. But it's like, why would you say that? That's such a dig. That's so
even
mean.
With
That's
the gays
so catty.
As well. We'll say that's closer to like females.
Are
whatever.
they mean, or they're still kind of?
No, we bust your balls.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then we don't hate you.
It's
though,
not
but
a sexual thing. It's literally you have a man's brain, and you have a male dynamic with your friends, and women, whether they're straight, gay, whatever. It's kind of it's a different thing, and it could also be super, in a unique way of where women should be be more involved in the shows, because these things are more serious. But to maybe like a gay male producer, they think it's like funny. They think it's funny and but it's actually quite cruel. And like that's why I love talking about this and will forever. But I feel like what it is about having your friends on is the intention is first that the girls are naive and they're like, yeah, of course I want my best friend.
Of course, yeah.
And the friend has now come to a bunch of things and kind of looked in and seen that their friend's life, season 1 or 2, is usually pretty fabulous. They're going to BravoCon. They're getting cute fans, unless you're Ramona, are coming up to them, and they love having the dinner interrupted, and they say interesting things, and they're like, your friend is my favorite housewife. And so then they'll go to their friend, hey, they're doing casting. Would you guys ever consider being on the show? And then that girl goes home and she's like, you know what? I'm cute and interesting. I have an opinion. Yeah, I would like to maybe be on the show.
Sure.
Great. So then she comes on the show. But then the manipulation of the production and the casting will go, wouldn't it be juicy if NeNe's lifelong friend turns on her?
Sure.
And so when a NeNe and a Bethenny then have some years on them, or anyone, they are like, no, I'm not good. I remember Tamara told me that. She goes, they used to ask me all the time to have friends. And now I'm like, no, because I want to have that friend 5 years from now. And if they come on the show, part of it is
a risk. It's a massive risk.
And part of it is being jealous, know, which is the typical, which is Teresa and Melissa. Why wouldn't you want your sister and your brother-in-law on the show? Because it was her show. It's my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to have the light. I was competitive they were competitive
and did Teresa
always.
bring her on?
Teresa did not bring her on.
How did she get on again, Melissa?
They knew that Teresa wouldn't want her on. And so then they went behind Teresa's back and talked to Melissa and then was like, we want you on the show. And Melissa and Joe were like, fuck yeah, we want to come on the show.
Yeah.
And then they came on and maybe there was some discussion. It's one of those things that like, is still murky. But after 13 years, like, it's like saying Kim Kardashian is only famous because she had a sex tape. Maybe that made her known to some people.
It's a stepping stone.
People
right?
aren't buying her Skims today. And Ryan Murphy isn't
because
putting
of that
her
thing.
because they're like, you know what? I'm buying this Skim because I really liked the way Ray J did her from behind. And I'm like, that isn't happening. So it's like, yes, that's like whether you're a Nepo baby or whatever. Like sometimes you get on there, but I think that's the thing. It's like, well, no, but you should just want to have your friends and have fun with it. But with women, you don't really. The friendships can be like, very broken.
They want
and
the
then
drama, and they don't want like a nice friendship on the show.
And you throw fame in it, and you're like, what are you really here for? Is it really fame? Is it really not?
Do you know what I always think? Do you know when they do those commercials on Bravo?
Yeah.
And like, you have the cast of 6 or 7 of them, and 2 of the girls get picked to do like the car commercial or whatever it is. Like, they must be raging, the ones that don't get chosen.
Yeah,
they must be so pissed.
Where it's
I
like
always
a movie,
think about that.
Where it's like a movie.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, ooh, let's get the popcorn and watch this new movie that's an NBC Universal movie or whatever. Yeah.
And do you know what I saw last night? I was just somebody posted like, do you remember they used to do like the Summer by Bravo commercials?
Yes,
and they were cool. They were really good.
Falling in the pool. Yeah.
You always saw just like select few housewives. The rest of them must have been pissed that didn't get chosen for those massive commercials.
Well, yeah. I mean, I remember with the Bethenny, Jill kind of argument from the very start was, Jill got her on the show. And in the beginning, Jill would be like, oh my God, I have this opportunity to go on a talk show. Can I bring Bethenny? It'll be more fun with both of us. So then Jill would bring Bethenny. And then all of a sudden, that morning,
Jill's so funny. She's like, oh my God, I cast the whole show. It doesn't even matter. She says, I get no thanks for it. It's like, I'm in
And then
Boca.
she would be like talking to Bethenny, what are you doing today? And Bethenny would be like, oh, nothing. And then like Jill would turn her TV
like, I got chipped.
and see that Bethenny like did a talk show. And she'd be like, why would you have asked me to do it? Why can't you be with me? And then Bethenny was like, I'm not in a girl band. I'm trying to become a star on my own. And they asked me myself, and why would I want to share the 7 minutes with you? I mean, that's just the truth. But Jill was like, I can't understand it because Jill's goal wasn't to have her own talk show. Jill was just like, wouldn't it be funny if we were all together?
Yeah, of course.
And that was really the start of like, that's what makes it so hard that women, even when women aren't famous and somebody gets divorced or whatever, women of 30 years will dump that woman and have dinner with the guy and his new wife. There are women that are that disloyal.
Really?
And I don't feel like it really happens with the guys. I feel like if the guy was the main friend for all those years, if the divorce happens, like the guy's still like, I'm going to be friends with you.
Sure,
if it's a couple that they met together through the wife, you got to go with the woman's friend, like, But if it's a social climbing situation, they might just be like, like I always remember that scene in the made-for-TV movie with Betty Broderick, who ended up killing her husband and his second wife. And she calls her friend, she takes off her 80s clip earring, and she goes, it's your birthday. I'm taking you out to lunch. Where do you want to go? Like we do every year. And she goes, Betty, I can't. And she's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you can't go? It's a tradition. And she goes, Frank and I have been social with Dan and Linda. And she's like, I got to you too. And it was like, that was it. Like 30 years of taking this bitch out to lunch. At some seaside cliff in La Jolla, California.
Some things come to an end.
Some things come to an end. Here's the thing. The skin on your neck is thinner. And a lot of us have not taken care of it and want to. And you want to use the right product. You guys, this is Go Pure. I've been using it every night for a couple months now. You will notice a huge difference. You really will. It is so great. Go Pure products are cruelty-free. They're paraben-free. They're sulfate-free. So you are giving your skin clean, effective care without the harsh chemicals or compromises. Go Pure isn't just about transforming the skin on your neck. They have a full line of science-backed skin and body care that tighten, lift, smooth skin from head to toe. So it's not just for the neck. It's such a great product. With over 100 million jars sold, the beauty secret is no longer a secret. For a limited time, our Juicy Scoopers get 25% off Go Pure with code JuicyScoop at checkout. Just head to gopurebeauty.com, use code JuicyScoop, and you're all set. And after you buy, do us a favor. When they ask you where you heard about Go Pure, tell them it was from our show, Juicy Scoop. If you run a salon, a med spa, you got into this business to make people feel their best. But if you spend your days with headaches of trying to schedule things, that system is just stressful and it's not great for your day to day. And it might be impossible for you to feel your best and have your clients feel their best. That's why you need Boulevard. Boulevard is the #1 client experience platform, but specifically for appointments-based self-care businesses. Because salons, spas, barbershops, med spas, and other self-care businesses are so personal, the platform powering your business also should feel the same. It's not just software, it's a smarter, more personal and organized way to manage all of your business's locations all in one place. See why the top beauty and wellness brands choose Boulevard to empower their team and grow their business. Right now, Boulevard is offering new customers 10% off your first subscription when you go to join blvd.com/JuicyScoop and book a demo. That's Join Boulevard, JOINBLVD.com/JuicyScoop. Book a demo and get 10% off your first year subscription. Join blvd.com/JuicyScoop. Let's talk about the Valley.
Oh, Jesus.
Janet had
Can we
another.
just go through each one?
Sure, Janet. Let me hear your opinion. Janet. We'll just say Janet had another horrible episode because of what she said on a boat, which is she doubled down
terrible.
and said that Danny, who is married to Nia and who has an ability to get a little drunk and made a comment, an imperfect comment to Jasmine, who is a lesbian with her girlfriend. And I guess maybe he did touch their butt. I don't even know if he ever touched the butt.
It wasn't in season 1, and I did not watch season 1, but I believe.
None of this happened on camera, by the way, so it's all being referred to.
Didn't he tap Jasmine and was like, hey, get me a drink?
Get daddy a drink.
Get daddy a drink,
I never
like
knew that he touched her. I thought he just said it. Whatever.
She
said last night.
It must have been touch if she said the word SA, sexual abuse or whatever.
So
then
she said. Janet and Kristen were really good friends. They did meet through Sheena. It's no secret that Janet met Sheena many years ago.
Yes, as a fan.
Going up I love the show. And then they hit it off at a pool party, became friends, went to Disneyland the next day, and has been friends for many years. I would see Janet and all the Sheena stuff over the years.
Yeah.
And so, that did happen, And so, anyway, now Kristen, hates Janet because she feels like Janet shouldn't have been talking about Danny like that. And so she gets mad, and they're on this yacht or whatever boat thing in Maui. And Janet's like, whatever, he sexually assaulted someone. So, there you go. And she's like, how could you say it? Now, I'm just going to say this. This is a reality show. They are drinking. If they're truly doing their job, they are supposed to forget that the cameras are on them. They're not saying this in a court of law. They're not saying this yes, it's filmed. They have no say in the edit. Even if Janet went right to the producers, please cut that out. I did not mean to say it.
Sure.
They're not going to.
No way.
So it's where she's like, this is defamation and did it. Well, you can't sue for defamation according to these contracts because people blurt out stuff.
Yeah.
In real life, you and I
sign our life away, and whatever we get. We can do whatever.
You and I get in a fight, and I say something to you, and if this isn't
unless
recorded,
it hurts the network, then they'll take it out.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so I'm like, so without Janet being, kind of on Danny about his drinking and this and that, there really wouldn't have been much going on in the show besides Jax and Brittany. But it does rub people wrong, and they are now saying we want her off the show.
She's just obsessed with their relationship, it seems with Nia and Danny. And I think it's just so awful the way they've treated him in this season. I just feel it's he's just standing around and they're drunk, alcoholic, pointing sexual abuse. It's Jesus Christ. He's just
he works full time.
Yes,
they live in a tiny apartment. He's agreeing to have a fourth baby. He's in love with his wife. And
I just think it's damaging. And to go, and here's the thing. they know what they say is going to be on camera. Hey, maybe I shouldn't say that. If I want to refer to like, hey, get me a drink, bitch, or whatever he said, like just say like, oh, he just tapped her in the bum and just said like, go get me a drink. It wasn't really nice. You shouldn't be doing that to women. Here's the thing. If they're all friends, I mean, I've been groped over the years in West Hollywood by women like there and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, get off me. Like whatever. And I don't know that person. So if it's a friend, like just taps you in the ass and like, get me a drink, whatever, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, it happened a year prior, and I think Jasmine didn't have a lot going on.
Sure.
And I do think producers go, what can we extract from your interaction as friends that we can make some drama out of? You know, and it can't be that you brought a rotten egg salad. Like, it has to be something juicier. So, I mean, I just think then they were like, bring it up. So they brought it up, and there was an interesting element of being, you know, a gay female couple and how guys, like sometimes straight guys kind of diminish that. So I kind of appreciated that. But then they met and they cleared it up, and you could tell that now Jasmine and her girlfriend are like, shut up about it. Like, we don't want to be part of this drama anymore. Like, we forgave them. We're good. We want to be on the show. We like them. And it's just, I don't know what will happen with, I don't know where this will leave the casting for next season.
I think a few of them are. I mean, Michelle needs to go.
I think, I don't know. I don't know who you'd keep or leave, because I think, you know, Nia and Danny might leave for their own like mental health. They live in Santa Clarita. I think they want Janet and Jason to leave. They will not get rid of the one person that made the show go. I don't care how much people hate her. And
she'll be back, and she'll be delighted to be back. Jesse will stay.
I kind of like Michelle and the guy with the eyes and Jesse.
Do you think Sheena and Lala will come back next season? Do you think they'll be like kind of introduced?
Yes. I definitely think they're going to become like regular people, and maybe even like, and definitely Tom Schwartz. That's what I think. Tom Schwartz
and Jax. Do you think Jax will?
Jax is definitely going to stay.
Of course, yeah,
definitely going to stay.
Then if Jax is gone, Brittany needs to go.
He needs to have his redemption season where we actually see if he can change or not, or he gets another girlfriend that you know makes it interesting. But you know, the show.
It's. I mean, there's lots of shit going on.
There's lots of shit going on, but sometimes I still get I'm a little bit like, all right, get on with it, you know, like. Yeah. But I still thought it was good. It made me honestly not want to go to Hawaii that bad.
I always think, you know what? Here's what I always say. Here's what I always say about Hawaii. I've been there 3 times. I went to Kauai and everything. Did the Jurassic Park thing. I'm like, no matter how many times I go, I always feel like I'm in Santa Monica. I just do.
I was just kind of like looking at it. I'm like, this does not make me like jealous at all. When they went down to like, okay, guys, now we have some food downstairs, and you see the fans to keep the bugs away, and I was like, that like chicken kebab looks Costco-esque.
No, I'm not spending $3 or $4 grand going there when I can go to Greece.
Like, it just didn't look that. Like, I'm a Cabo girl, so like to me, I'd rather do a 2.5 hour trip. And
Cabo's
like,
great. Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, it just didn't make me jealous for Hawaii, because we know how ridiculously expensive Hawaii is.
It's
like
Santa Monica. I'm telling you.
Anyway, and then they were like all sick because it was like a double-decker boat. Like, when they were having the worst fight.
I was texting my friend Nicola, and she's a travel agent, you know, and I'm like, what do you think about this? She's like, well, it's not the best place. And I'm like, but she, you know, she says like, this place is good. I'm like, no. I said, I'm not going to fucking Santa Monica. No way. It's just like.
And I know there's like a lot going on in Maui, so maybe that's why, like, you know, we're with the staffing and of course the tragedy of the fires and stuff. So I don't know if that's like causing like it to look that great. But then while they're having the worst fight was the most beautiful sunset. That was stunning. There was,
oh my God. She was like running off the boat, and I could see like just like this line
pink,
of it was stunning. There was like this orange. I was like, wow. I'm like, wait, the fight? Like
yeah. Anyway, amazing. Speaking of all the Housewives stuff, do you know that I have a big show happening on BravoCon weekend?
I'm going to be going, and I'm going to be going to your show.
Maybe I'll bring you. Maybe you can be part of the show.
Oh my God!
Maybe
Yeah,
can ask
I'm going to be
some
there.
Fun questions. Have you do something fun? There are some. So I would love for you to be part of it. November 14th, 10 p.m. HeatherMcDonald.net, and get your tickets. And you know, we will.
Do you have tickets for BravoCon? Yeah. Sorry.
Do I? No, I don't. But I would most likely
go on sale Friday.
I'm going to probably go. Maybe I'll go Friday for sure, so that I have like some shit to talk about.
I just want one day.
Yeah, so I'll probably go Friday, and then maybe I would go the next day or something. But I definitely obviously I'm definitely going to go a little, go for
Yeah.
it. So I would love to go. If not, it doesn't matter. The show will be hilarious
Oh my
and
God,
funny.
it's
And
so funny.
And we don't need to placate because no one's asking me to like run a panel.
Yeah,
So
that's the one I went to in New York City. Remember the BravoCon New York
Yes.
City when me and Amy were there, and you invited me, and I went. Remember with the drag queens from Dublin, they flew
So
in and
fun.
stuff.
They were
fun.
so sweet.
So did I ever tell you the Jill Zarin story of that? Like,
because Jill Zarin was there.
She was there, right? And so I was getting the girls like drinks. I said, I'll get drinks, whatever. So I pass her and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to say hi, because I was like, hey, Jill, it's Stuart, like I'm with Jeff and stuff like that, And she's like, oh my God, I wanted to meet you and stuff like that. So I go get drinks. And then I come back and I'm not sitting with her. Like I sat down for a second to say hi. So I keep going back down to the girls. She goes on the show the next day with Jeff or something. She's like, yeah, I met him. It's like, he never came back. He never came back with the drinks. I was like, I wasn't getting you drinks.
And first of all, the only thing she drinks is Diet Coke. So yeah, like whatever. She was so funny. And and we're gonna go to her event.
Yeah.
In the Hamptons.
In the Hamptons. Oh my God.
And you asked me if I've ever gone before.
Just
yes.
like literally what you're wearing now, just like wear less. Because it's so hot there.
In the Hamptons right now?
Oh my God, I've gone twice, right? I mean, you've gone a few times, but
so
it's
I have.
roasting.
I remember the first time I went was at her house when Bobby was still with us.
Yeah, oh, wow.
And she had the most beautiful modern house. And I think I stayed with my friend Lisa. And unfortunately, Lisa's redoing her house. So I won't be able to stay with her this time. But we came with a couple other girls and it was really great. And I took a photo with all the housewives. She had them come from like Melbourne and they were all there. And it was all of us and then me. She was like, get Heather in here. And that's when Ramona was like, who's Heather? Like, she's like, I've heard your name. Who's Heather? And I was like, hi. And we're like standing around the pool and it was so fun. And then also that same weekend she took me, I stayed with her and she took me to the most magnificent house I have yet to be at. It was acres. It looked like Versailles in the Hamptons. And it was someone's birthday. And she goes, it's a big no-no to bring house guests to dinner parties in the summer. You're not supposed to bring your house guests. That's when you get invited. Doesn't matter who's staying with you. You're not supposed to go. But I told her, you're on TV. And so she was like, okay. So I was like, oh, okay. So that was like back when I was still at Chelsea Versailles. It was so long ago. So I go to that, and that was the funniest night ever. I mean, I was dying, and Jill went right up to the host and was like, I'm a little perturbed with you. She's like, you are? She's like, yeah, I had a lunch. She didn't invite me. And the girl's like, Jill, what? And I literally felt like I was just watching a show.
A show, yeah.
And then also we went to another rich lady's house, and I got to get a tennis lesson from like a hot tennis guy. Jill is
she looks
so
after
connected,
you when so connected.
So connected, so great. I got to go to and it was a sit down luncheon, like my favorite thing to do. And then another year, oh God, I've gone a few times. And then another year it was at a hotel, at the hotel, which I think it is this time. And that was just really, really fun. And then it was always, then there was another year that I was with Patty Stanger and we hopped on like some rich guy's boat. Yeah. And there were these girls that I think were,
part of him or whatever. Yeah.
Like paid ladies to be there. And I get in the jacuzzi with them and I'm like asking them, what is it like to be like a yacht girl? I was like getting so much scoop. And then they're like, and then Lindsay Lohan's mom, Dina Lohan, was with us.
Okay.
And so then they're like, let's go back to the Buklebek, whatever that place is.
Bibliothèque.
Let's have dinner there. Jill has like a girls' dinner there.
Yeah.
So we get back in the little boat. We get in the car. Patty Sanger's like driving. Patty and Jill both don't drink. We get there, and now we're having dinner. And this girl that like met Dina Lohan on the boat comes up to our table and is like, how could you leave Dina Lohan there? And Jill's like, what? Like, we didn't realize that Dina was like on the boat with like the yacht people. Like, it was like the funniest night. And I also saw Tom there.
Oh, like the Tom.
Luann's Tom, after they had just broken up. And I was like trying to get the scoop. And he was just about to spill it. And then he was like, I probably shouldn't be telling this lady this. And I'm like, you probably shouldn't. And so it was so fun. So I hope that we can match the energy and the fun that we've had in the past.
We will. It's always, like I just like melt when I'm there. It's just so hot. Now I think she's at the Southampton Inn again this year, and so
you never know.
Which is nice because you can go inside or whatever.
But days are different, so it's like whatever. I'll find a cute dress, and the money goes to charity, and she has all these other vendors. So if there are still tickets, people should go and get tickets.
It's amazing
and
it's
have fun. Time. Okay, now I have talked about and just like that a lot, and you guys, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you some important information that I have cracked the code of people thinking it's Chat GPT, it's AI who's writing this. This doesn't make sense. The biggest mistake they recently made was the character of Lisa. Her dad died, but he had died in season 1, came to a dinner party in season 2, and then died again in season 3. And so I kept waiting for them to come forward and say something, you know.
Lisa was like, I was lying in season 1.
No, and so then, wait, I have to find it. But Lisa did say something. She has made a statement, and she said, I did remember that my dad had already died and that we'd filmed that scene, but I just figured I would just go with what the writers gave me. Well, as an actress, I think she was smart enough to see that mistake, but realize that they didn't realize it. But if she'd said it, then her entire juicy scene of mourning her dad, going to she had many scenes last episode because the dad died, and it was good acting, and she, it was funny and da-da-da. So it was like sad. And so I think she was like, I'm not going to tell them this. Yeah. And so she did it.
That's probably why. You're right.
And same thing with this other actress who's playing Aiden's wife is in like textile tech or something as her job, but she was cast as Miranda's boss as a lawyer 20 years ago. And I don't think she wanted to remind them about that either. So anyway, I said, I have got to crack the case of this. And I listened to the And Just Like That podcast this morning.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys, I figured it out.
Who does the podcast?
Michael Patrick King and all the writers. And they go through the episodes scene by scene and why they thought of it and how they came about it and how they even picked the furniture, whatever. And listening to it, I was like, this is a bunch of the English faculty at my all-girl high school that think that they are the most brilliant, funny people, but they're actual dorks. And yes, I'm saying it, and no, I'll never be cast in anything Michael Patrick King is going to do. I don't care. I have a good life doing my own thing. That is what it is. They think they're so funny. They think they're so clever. They never bring up the fact
that it's garbage.
That about the dad. Yeah. Because I think they probably recorded it like months ago. Probably each time they finished an episode, it was in the editing can, they probably recorded it. They're probably being smart enough not to listen to people like me. They shouldn't. They're doing this for themselves. Never once in the podcast do they say, we thought the audience would love this. Never once. They're doing it for themselves. They think they're funny. They're like, and you know what? It's writing 101. And then we see the glass crack. And it's a metaphor for da-da-da. And it's literally your English teacher who is a narcissist English teacher that gets to perform for people that are captive 55 minutes a day and think they're so smart. They think they're Maya Angelou. They think they're Shakespeare. They think they're a stand-up comic. And they're, and like that's who it is. That's who's writing the show. It's not.
So it all makes sense in the way it's so bad.
It's not comedians. It's not all gay men. It's a mix of people that are the age of the characters. This is what they think is funny. They're not writing it for the 35-year-old that loves Sex and the City. They're not writing it for the 55-year-old that loves Sex and the City. Yeah. They're writing it for themselves. There's no juicy plot twist. They literally are like writing it like a boring book that you got assigned and you had to write essays on, and your teacher's trying to explain the metaphor of something that was written in 1942, and you're studying it in 1990, and you're like, what? Like, this is so fucking boring. And I just can't, and then they talk about the stupid documentary, that she's doing, the boring documentary that Lisa's doing.
With
and they go,
the hot guy.
And this is how meticulous we are. Every screen on there is an actual woman that is an African-American woman that did something great. So while we're doing this, we are that meticulous about, we are keeping the background of this documentary actually in truth. And I'm like, so you care about that, but you don't care that a character died already. Yeah. Came back to life to go to dinner and then died again. Like, you don't care. You're just
Do you really think they missed it?
Yes, I really do. I think they just were like, we should have a funeral scene. And then someone was like, it should be Lisa because I have this idea. And they're like, okay, great. Because they talk about how they like pitch stuff. And then they're like, oh, and then the one girl goes, I have a great backstory for this other character. And they're like, you with your back. I'm like, everyone should have a backstory. Like, it's like, and then they're like, and then at the very end, Aiden's pants are split because he wanted to go to the funeral and he didn't have time to get a suit. So the big and tall store were closed. So he wore these tiny outfits and they're like, and this is where it's screwball comedy, people. And they're, I'm like, this is not funny. And then his pants split and then Carrie has to walk behind him, which is from an old Groucho Marx movie. I was like, oh my God. But I was like, that's it. It's just not funny. Of course, I'm like, the dad died 2 days ago and they have a funeral and we all have buried people. If you're going to go do cremation, it takes like 2 weeks.
Oh, it does.
It takes a longer time. This isn't a Jewish burial where you like get them in 3 days.
Sure.
It actually takes a long time
Ireland.
it actually takes them a long time. And I'm like, but whatever. Like he couldn't have time to get a suit. It's just like, they were like, and then we see Seema and her shoes are uncomfortable. She can't. She wore the wrong shoes. And I'm like, so I want to say to the writers, you deserve to have this fun. Do it. It's for you. Yeah. If we're going to continue to watch it, you are giving me shit to talk about. But now that I've cracked the code, I'm afraid I'm not going to have as much hatred for it because I know.
Because you know who's writing it now.
Because I know who's writing it. And it's my old English teacher.
I can't wait to watch the next 4 episodes. So it's like, Jesus.
I have given them many tips of how to make it juicy. They're not out to make it juicy.
No, they're not.
They're out to make it this metaphoric, like old-fashioned writing English something.
Last season it was terrible. It's the same kind of tone. It's even worse. People say now, but like fix it. They don't want to.
They don't want to fix it because they're clearly not listening to any of the critics. They are playing with their cats and they're, going into an antique store. They don't care what we think. This show was not for us. It's for them. And they're having a blast.
Yeah, I'm sure
and
they
it
are.
also makes sense because the podcast is also equally lame. I'm like, that's why they were so shitty about her podcast career. Because they don't understand what podcasting is, and they don't understand how boring that podcast was. When Che Diaz was be like, "Oh, hi, and I'm the non-baron," and then like said a million words, and you're the straight girl, and Carrie be like, and then because she doesn't do one ad, the whole place shuts down, and because Seema doesn't work at her real estate firm now she's broke. Because Che Diaz pilot didn't take, now she lives in her abuela's basement and works as a receptionist, as a vet, not even doing stand-up again. Like, it's so weird that once someone loses a job, they're just poor.
Poor, I know, yeah.
And they never addressed, there's so many things, who cares? I've talked about too much. I'm letting you guys know, just let these people have their fun. The show is not for you. It's for them. It's for Michael Patrick King and his friends.
But we'll keep watching, of course.
But we'll keep watching. This is juicy. Jennifer Aniston is sparking dating rumors with hypnotist Jim Curtis. They went to Mallorca. She was seen introducing him to Jason Bateman and his wife, who are old friends of hers. Yeah. He's cute.
So cute.
People did a deep dive. She liked a bunch of his posts all the way back till May. Liked his book. He's a hypnotist / coach. Grifter. He's a grifter.
Do you think so?
I don't know. Hypnotist.
He's
who cares?
Yeah, but hypnotist. But he does like those like lovely quotes and stuff like that on Instagram.
It can't hurt. It can't hurt.
He's so cute though.
It can't hurt. I'm fine.
Maybe he's super calming and stuff.
She liked a quote that said something like he did a video that's like, let me give you some affirmations. Like, you deserve to be loved. How you were treated in the past won't affect the next person who treats you.
Sure.
So for someone like Jennifer Aniston, whose husband, Brad Pitt, cheated on her in front of her face with Angelina Jolie.
Was it in front of her face?
Pretty much. She went up to Angelina Jolie and was like, I'm so excited. He's so excited about doing Mr. and Mrs. Smith with you and da-da-da-da. And I know from a very good source that Angelina Jolie would like literally call the house and like asked to talk to him. And she still was like, she did not think anything was going on. She had to like let him think he was like an interior designer and architect. She had to let him think that he was a jewelry designer, designed the ugliest ring for her. She played along all the time. Then she gets Justin Theroux, And, now both those guys are with like 30-year-olds. And, she's hot and great. So let her have a life coach / hypnotist. He's age appropriate. He's cute. Who cares? She's not looking to have a child. Thank God.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that story again. I don't think she's looking to get married. I don't think she's looking. Like I have a friend who's dating someone who's significantly younger, and her friend, and she said, someone said to me, "Oh, but he's going to leave you, and when you get older." And she goes, "So what?"
Wow.
She's like, "So what? I've had my kids. Like I have my own money. I'm not. There's no way he can like take my money.
Sure.
I'm not dumb enough. Like we're smart about the money. He's fucking hot. He's a delight. He's smart. Like
I'm having fun.
Yeah. If it doesn't last forever, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
Would I rather have some old crusty person my age? Who cares?
Yeah.
So I'm like, who cares? Like like why just go for it and have fun. When you get to a certain age as a woman, it is nice. It's one of the nicest things God did for us is that we cannot get knocked up after 50.
Yeah.
We cannot. But a guy can. A guy can get a young girl.
Sure. Yeah.
And she can say, I don't want kids and this and that. And, I just love, I love being a 30-year-old with 25-year-old stepkids. I love it. And then she gets to be 32. And she's like, if you don't let me have one kid, I'm leaving. So he goes, fine.
Imagine.
And she's like, I'll take care of the kid myself. And sure enough, he has sunstroke in Orlando, walking around with a knee brace, pushing that kid, while his 55-year-old divorcee wife is in Mallorca having a blast.
And the wife is like, that's your karma.
I don't want to do, like, we're all, none of my friends
of course
are like,
you guys don't want to do
you know what
it.
I wish? I wish I could get pregnant again. No,
No
we don't.
way.
So I say, good for her. And as Jennifer Aniston, I would say, you know what? I am great. I am good. He is fun. He takes a little watch and goes like this in front of my face, and I fall asleep like a baby. And he tells me an inspirational coach, he gives me inspirational quotes and gives me a nice hot cup of coffee and a dry margarita. And we are good. We are great. We are with Jason. I call him JJ Bateman. No, I don't know what she calls him, but they're old friends.
Bateman.
They're old friends. So good for her. Okay, the Bezos wedding. I came across such an interesting thing. This is just that her sister was sharing intimate scenes. Yeah, if you're the sister of Lauren Sanchez,
That's
better.
her sister?
Behind her doesn't look anything like her.
Looks like a daughter.
Maybe that is her daughter. I don't know, but
Lauren Sanchez's sister gave a glimpse inside the journal.
Sometimes they do that where they don't match the But anyway, it could be half sister, it could be whatever, who knows. And but I don't know if you caught this because I don't have the photo in front of me. But maybe we can throw it up in post. But people are freaking out that in the photo that was used for Vogue, where she's in her traditional dress and hunched over, she does have the most banging body for a dress, big boobs, tiny waist, nice ass, and and leaning over, and he's holding his hand, and they're mid laugh, like we tried to do.
Oh my God! Yes.
When we were at our party, it was you, me, Zach, Brandy, Julie, Megan Weaver, and we were like, we have to do this thing where you kind of do like a pony hop.
It's like a viral thing.
Yeah,
people
if you all do a pony hop together, and someone films it, or even does stills, you will get that natural.
I'll send you the photograph and you can put it up so you can see the result of it. No, I'm all blurry. Good. You're blurry. Like you can kind of see half of Megan. It's like it's terrible.
It wasn't good. Okay,
we did it 9 times.
I know. Anyway, it was okay. So it was funny. Anyway, the carpet after there's carpet on an outdoor wedding that is a gray industrial carpet that you would have had at a Xerox company from 1985.
It's a FedEx Kinko's, like that kind of gray.
It is industrial gray, ugly carpet. And there's people that are like, is this a conspiracy theory? Did this wedding even happen? Why this ugly carpet? What's going on?
God.
I'm thinking maybe the carpet thing was a last minute thought because they were like, oh shit, this is old gravelly ground.
Yeah.
And like people are going to trip and fall.
Quickly? Yeah.
And no one thought about how ugly it was. The carpet thing is very strange. The other part is there were videos and photos of her getting ready in the traditional gown that she put out there that didn't match the actual gown. Like the buttons went all the way up to the top, or they did. I don't know. It's kind of a reach.
But
I don't care.
Even if it was a different dress or they photoshopped shit on.
I mean, people didn't think that Britney's wedding happened. And
that was so funny, that whole conspiracy thing.
Yes,
It was like, was she even in the room, kind of like, but they're all like singing like, Papa Don't Preach, or whatever it is with Madonna and stuff.
I just remember people were so fascinated because she'd always wear this like choker.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like an old childhood, like, scary book that like my sister and I were about, where like this woman always wanted to wear the choker, and the husband was like, why don't you take off the choker? Why don't you take out the choker? And so then one day he's like, I'm taking off that choker while she was sleeping, and he took it off and like her head rolled. Like, so I was like, what are you saying? Like, this is like a robot, and they thought it was
it's a clean line that they can just like put the head on. They
thought it was that. They thought none of these people really went. And no, I mean, I had
It
Sam.
was the most bizarre thing. But did you ask? But she was getting married to Sam, right?
I know from Sam, and I also know from somebody else whose kid knows one of the kids. And it absolutely did happen.
Of course, yeah.
The wedding absolutely did happen.
It just was a bit bizarre.
But it was when you like slow-mo and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, because the arm was kind of like fuzzy. And I just remember that.
And also in these photos that were like used for like Vogue and stuff with the weird industrial carpet, there's like a chair, a bottom of a chair leg missing and things like that, which I'm like, that just can, listen, people in jobs are lazy. And sometimes people just make mistakes. Sometimes things aren't as planned out as you think.
It's so crazy. They would hire the best Photoshop people to do this, and they would miss shit like that.
Or that's why they're saying they think it's something more. But whatever. I mean,
but all the people went there. We saw all the celebrities there. Like, it obviously happened.
I know. And some people
getting
are
on
like,
boats and shit.
Some people are like, why are you defending that? I'm like, I'm not defending them. I'm saying if I got invited, I'd fucking go. Okay, and so would you.
We would.
So would you, Rosie O'Donnell. So would you, Katie Couric. So would you, Olivia Munn. You'd all would have fucking gone.
To be in a room with all those people just to like see it and experience it, of course, yeah.
Just for the Patreon.
Then I'd start a Patreon.
Yeah. What do you think is going on with Kelly Clarkson?
Okay, something's going on because her excuse just doesn't, like, that girl can sing. She's well able to sing. She can do anything. She does it daily on her talk show. She sings a new track and she has to prep for it.
It was really strange. So she was supposed to do start her residency like last week or 2 weeks ago, like 2:00 the day of the show. She pulled an Adele and said, "Well, now Adele, when Adele did it, she just said the show's just not ready, and I'm a perfectionist.
I believed
it's not ready." I kind of believed it too, and then with her, she just said, my voice is not there. Now, I kind of, listen, the stakes are so high. And if she really was like not at her best, you don't want to debut it. And she probably thought, you know what? All the people that got off work and did all that were mad at Adele, they forgave her and she went and had a great residency. Mm-hmm. So, you know what? I am going to do right by me. And I'm just going to postpone it a week. Now, do you think she is getting rid of her talk show when it expires in 2026?
No, because people like it. Unless she doesn't want to do it.
No, I know. That's it. I mean,
yeah.
No, it would not. It would be she has to get rid of it. It's so popular.
Oh, it depends what she prefers doing.
Yeah.
Was there rumors that she kind of was like stressed out doing it?
I think that she feels like she can't be the mom she wants to be, even though they'll accommodate her in every way, you still have to be there every day. And so that's the only thing I was thinking, like either it moves to Nashville or something, or if she really likes the Vegas thing, maybe she will do what Celine Dion did. When Celine Dion was in Vegas for so long though, she was like able to like totally be a hands-on mom.
It just takes me back when you say her name. It just takes me back to Chelsea, and it was like one of the first times I saw Heather on Chelsea years and years ago. And you would do Celine Dion, and it was the funniest thing. It was my favorite character you would do. But anyway,
I haven't done her in so long, so I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
But anyway, she got the big mansion.
Yeah.
She had the 3 boys, the twins and the older one, and was like able to they were able to have like their Vegas life. So I'm like, I think she's testing this out. And if it goes great and she loves it, maybe she will just do that and raise them in Vegas and be able to be around in the day.
As Celine?
Yeah. I mean, she
could do 5 years easily.
Yeah. And she sings because you think every song, and then she's entertaining in between. I think so. Because she does other people's songs.
Or else she does little stints, and then
And
they
she
work
could
the
bring-
show around. I think
And she
moving
could
the
bring
show to
guests.
Nashville
She
would
could
be
bring
great.
surprise guests that would
Because
come.
you can do a talk show. Like I've heard they do a talk show sometimes, like depends on the talent. But they can, you shoot a week's worth of show in like 3 days and then you're off for like 5.
No, but this is every day. So it has to be, even
You
if
can't
she did,
pre-record?
there could be one day that you do. When I would do like Wendy, there'd be one day, and Chelsea, we would do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be 2 shows. So the second show would be Thursday, and Friday would be a repeat. Her shows are 5 days a week, so they have to come up with 5.
Yeah.
And double day, I mean, even though she's not, it is exhausting, and it is taking away from her kid. So that's what I think is going on. Also, I just think she loves being skinny. Sorry to say it. She's
She looks
skinny now.
great.
She's skinny.
Yeah.
And so she has a whole new perspective on life. And she just might be like, I want to have some fucking fun with my new bod.
And she's single, right, now?
She's single.
Yeah, maybe Vegas is the place for her.
Yeah. Or she just lost a zest for life because she's taking those shots. And she's not excited to go to restaurants. She's not excited to do anything. That happens
She's
too.
going to have to come off that sooner or later. Then you blow it back up.
We'll see. I thought this was so interesting.
Like, I saw it.
Did you see that?
I saw it a few weeks ago, and I just was like, I don't believe
and
any
Portia,
of this.
I don't know if this is real.
What, the Kind Science?
Is it a real company?
Yeah.
Okay. Ellen and
But it's from
Portia
a while ago, though.
are doing a skincare company, according to this, called Kind Science. But because there's so much fake news, I don't know if someone just put this together.
No, I saw the commercial.
Oh, you literally saw
I literally saw the commercial.
Okay. So it's their company
Recently.
for skincare.
Correct.
I don't want to be a bitch.
I think it came out like 3 or 4 years ago. It's
Okay.
not just recent. But she's in London now. They're running the
She's
commercial.
in London. I
And
know.
everyone hates her, so we're not buying it.
And also, it's called Kind Science because remember, that's what she was saying. Be kind, be kind,
Have you
be
watched
kind.
the commercial?
No.
What
is it?
Beyond cringe. And just like watching,
tell.
she's like this, and we're like, you're like, we're kind and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't believe a fucking thing you say. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I was just like, just after everything that happened with her, it's so disappointing.
Also, I don't think she's someone like J-Lo has good skin. Okay. J-Lo
Yeah.
has good skin. So when she has a skincare line, you're kind of like, okay, I want to get that J-Lo glow.
Like-
I don't think we associate
Two
Ellen
lesbians.
with glowy skin.
Sorry, 2 lesbians selling skincare.
Well,
no.
Portia's really pretty. But I'm saying
course, yeah.
Ellen,
But
it's
then it
like,
should be Portia.
it should have just been Portia's thing.
And then maybe like Portia's in the house and like Ellen's in the background making coffee.
I don't know. It's also like, why do you need this product? Like she had so many side gigs. She had interior design.
American Express was a huge one.
And she was, when she had her show, she was always trying. There was stories of where she'd find talent and like try to get them going. And then when it didn't go, the kid was bitter. And I was like, okay, I'm a little on your side. Like that's okay. But
Yeah.
if he didn't pop, That's not your fault. Like that's not her fault.
Yeah.
Like she thought
She
you were
tried, like, yeah.
she thought you were going to be the next Justin Bieber and you weren't, but I just thought this was kind of funny. I don't know what she's doing. Okay, speaking of Justin Bieber,
What's going on with him now?
he was posting over the weekend of just him smoking joints
my
with
Spencer
like a
Pratt.
bunch of losers.
Yeah.
And then somebody wrote under there, imagine being in your 30s thinking it's cool to post pictures of you smoking a blunt. But then he did post a photo of him like kind of with his kid, like changing the kid or whatever, not showing its parts, but just, I don't know, rolling him around. And then like hugging Hailey Bieber or whatever. I don't know what is going on with him, but he'll like do a weird photo of just like his nostrils. Like, I don't know what.
God. I feel bad for him. I don't know how I feel about that and the whole.
Like, why are you just like, look at that. This is just like every loser. And this is what you post. Like, it's fine if you're doing it, but why are you thinking
That's
it's
cool with
very
the table. It's not even like a clean, like if you're in like a nice kitchen, like with a thing, or like, like Luann smokes a cigarette, like walking on the street sometimes. Like if like that would be fine. Like if he was on the side of the street just having a little like puff, like I'm okay. Like this is like dirty.
And no, there were 8 of them too. It was a slideshow and none of them were different than the other. Like honestly, like you're putting this slideshow and you can't, like when people do slideshows of them in the same outfit, it's like, okay, like Gretchen Rossi just can't decide which is a cuter photo. But they're like barely different.
I did that once in Sicily, like outside the Four Seasons Hotel, because I had to, because there were 3 good shots. I was like, I'm in the same outfit. Outside
it's like killing,
bar, outside.
It's literally like killing your own children. You're like, I'm so gorgeous in all 3 of these photos. I can't decide. And I just needed the world to see one where I'm slightly turned to the left, one where I'm slightly turned to the right, one where I'm like, it's fine. You have the right to do that. But this was 8 photos of just blunt smoking with guys that we don't know who they are. You're not, and I don't know. It's people are like, when did he turn into Britney Spears? I don't know, but it makes me sad because Britney Spears, and Amanda Bynes, all child stars,
it's really sad.
All had to work so young, couldn't say no, to anything, and supporting families and everything else. And he's not bringing out new music, and he's so talented. And I don't know what's going on. He
was like clean for a long time, and he used to go to that church, that Mosaic church there on Hollywood and La Brea there, and like. I remember my friend used to go, he's like, Justin goes every week. And I'm like, really? And like, that's crazy. So like he went through this whole like spiritual thing, and I guess he just fell off it.
Yeah, he does not talk about church anymore.
No, he was super into it.
It was that church, but then there was also the Hillsong Church.
There was one in I think it was in like the Montage in Beverly Hills. So my friend Matthew took me one day. I was like, where's it? He's like, oh, it's in like the Montage downstairs in like the room. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of fancy. Yeah. He's like, all the celebrities go. And I'm like, okay.
I was always like, when I was trying to make it, I was always thinking like, what could help me? I was thinking
Scientology.
Scientology AA meetings. Like I remember someone's like, the AA meeting to go to is the one on Robertson. All the agents are there.
In the cabin.
Yeah, and all the agents are there and everything. And I was like, what if I went and just like did like a comedy routine there? Then they would see me.
You go up and you're like, hi, I'm Heather McDonald.
I'm an alcoholic, and then I like do a whole bit, like about like my fucked up family or whatever, and like just try to just get anyone to see me.
That would be a really funny like thing in a comedy show, like in like a Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of thing. That would be so fucking funny.
Well, I remember that I thought maybe Luann was doing that. Remember when Luann was going to AA meetings and she took Sonja to it, and they were in Miami, and then Sonja was like, I mean, it was really sad. Like I don't want to see these people on my vacation. They were like, they smell, and everyone was just smoking cigarettes. And why did she bring me there? And I'm like, she brought you there because she's practicing her comedy routine in between her bits of her cabaret show.
Oh God, did I tell you? She's like, oh darling, so go Stu, like whatever, you know what I mean? And she's like, have you seen the show before? I'm like, Luann, this is my 5th time coming. And she's like, you're so good to support me.
I can buy myself flowers. Oh my God. I went and did karaoke recently, and I was like, I have so much more respect for Luann and Tom Sandoval, because I did one song of Miley Cyrus and I was like exhausted. It went on way too fucking long. Speaking of which, okay, I don't know if you saw this. I came across it last night. Alex Cooper, biggest podcast caller daddy. She got asked to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at a Chicago Cubs game.
Okay, cute.
And so it's not the national anthem. They have famous people do it. They play it during the 7th inning stretch. Celebrities have done it. So they asked her to do it. So they're like, and now from caller daddy, Alex Cooper. Mm-hmm. And so they have her like up in the rafters doing it. And she's got 2 friends with sunglasses, like being her sidekicks or whatever. And she did this like weird voice of like, take me out to the ball game. Anyway, immediately people start booing.
Oh, shit.
I want to say I really felt for her because she's not a stand-up. It wasn't being well received.
Yeah.
But now you're stuck in this song. You got to fucking finish it. And it reminded me of one time Roseanne Barr got asked to do the national anthem. And when she was bombing because she's not a singer and she always had that voice. And so then to finish up the joke, she grabbed her balls and spit like a baseball player would do to spit out, to try to be. And then people were like, all over, National Choir, like, she's so disrespectful. She's an awful person, And it was like, no, she was a comedian doing a song that now you can't just like stop the song. You can't just go, okay, guys, that sucks. Like, it's a weird moment. And Alex wasn't in front of the crowd. She was like in the back, and she could tell like it wasn't going well, but she was kind of like laughing, trying to get through it. And then someone brought up the fact that Theo Von did the exact same thing, did the same weird voice.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it. And I'm like, it is such a woman thing. Like, it is such a woman, like, how disrespectful. It's like she bombed. It happened. They
Why is it
asked
because
her
like
to
it's a
do
man's
it.
game? Like they're like a man should like
That's
what is
just because it's harder to be a woman. It's like that bit didn't work. Like all I know is the only thing I've ever been asked to do is like throw a pitch or whatever, and I'm horrible at pitching. So I knew it wouldn't go far.
Sure.
And then that would be the end of it. But when I've had people, I made the mistake of someone saying, "Would you like to like sing at my wedding or whatever?"
But you do it though, like you've done it with us. I've seen you at parties in the past, and you're fun when you do it, like with a piano and
right,
stuff.
I did when it's fun and people are expecting it.
Yeah.
Like people weren't expecting Alex Cooper to sing. So even when people ask me to like, hey, would you do this charity event and do stand up, whatever, and I'll say I've done it enough to know I can MC the event,
Great.
I can say one-liners, I can be funny, I can move it. But the people coming to your event are not expecting to see 25 minutes of a stand up that they might not be familiar with. I'm not Jerry Seinfeld.
Sure.
So, like, before you get all excited and think this is going to be the event of the year, it's not like they're going to be like, what the fuck was that? You know, it's like, no, you had. So anyway.
Like keep it tight or whatever.
Alex Cooper, I feel for you. Of course, you got asked to do it. You're not a singer. You thought it would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Maybe you saw the Theo Von thing and saw how well it was received.
That's what probably I would do.
But
Watch
welcome
all
to being a female comic, which you're not. You're great at what you do.
Yeah.
You're obviously built a huge empire, and you're not even 30 yet. It's great. But of course, people are going to be so excited that something she did failed because she's so young and successful. That and yeah. So I know now when people ask me, "Would you do that?" I know what I can pull off, what could be well received, how to get out of it when you're bombing, and you cannot get out of a bombing song. And I've been lobbying for all karaoke songs to be cut down to 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No, we do not need the inspirant. And you want to end it. Your friends want it to end.
Yeah. Even if you're like, even if it's really good, like you still like don't want to listen for 4.5 minutes or 4, you know what I mean?
And it's always kind of sad when you see the person that's like, you go to the karaoke place and like they go every Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
They are good. And you're like, what was this person's life like to know that they are just like running the roost at this like karaoke place?
I used to live up in Napa Valley when I first moved to America, and there was a bar called Anna's, and they had karaoke every like Thursday night. And the same woman, I actually kind of liked her because we all laughed at her. We all like laughed at her because like she'd be like, "Tell me something good," and she'd be like, "Wow!" Like she'd do this like crazy scream,
and
it was every week.
And just like just like that. She's doing it for herself.
Yeah.
She deserves to do it.
Yeah.
She's not hurting anybody. She's good. It's not for you. It's for her. Just like the writers of a Just Like That. It's for them.
Yeah.
It is not for us. Just because you're watching it and they're not. I'm entertaining you, but I also do enjoy what I do. But this is for you. Okay, Stu. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Okay.
I'm so glad that you're here. You're so funny. I do want you to teach me how to make some food. I want you to come out to my new house.
Yes.
We're going to put it on the calendar before you leave.
Okay.
And we're going to spend some time in the Hamptons together. And you have a great podcast as well.
Yeah.
So tell them where they can find it.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff at Chef Stu or Chef Stuart O'Keefe. I do recipes like 2 or 3 times a week. I do my podcast one or 2 times a week. It's just fun shit. I'm shooting the shit, like funny stories. I'll touch on a bit of Bravo, kind of whatever's happening in my life. That's pretty much it.
And that's great. So that's it, you guys.
Yeah.
Now, are you single? Because I
am
know
single, yeah.
I have a large gay audience.
Yeah.
You are single. And are you looking for a particular type?
If like people
Someone kind.
said that.
Someone kind. Meghan Markle will say, is he kind?
Here's the thing. I like they don't have to be a 10, right? I need like a 6, great personality that brings them up to like an 8, right? And like I need the sarcasm. Don't mind a tiny bit of drama. Just like, and that's it. Like fun. Likes to travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny. And where will you find this woman?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Anyway, remember you guys go to heathermcdonald.net. That's where you're going to get the tickets for the Bravo show. I mean, it's not the Bravo show. It's my show. It's
See you in November.
Also, yes. And all the good things. Follow me there. Merch, blah, blah, blah. Bye. Love you.